So finally, with that being said, let's get into creating our consistent AI influencers. So first things first, we need to go over and set up a Leonardo account, which is a free AR generator, so there you've got some, I would say, the free credits. And I will put the link in the resources of this lecture, alright? So go over there and like open this one website. And now in order to create an account, we've got there the button, so create an account, let's click on it. And there just go over and select one of these options, or just go over right here and click sign up, and there provide your informations, and afterwards click on this button. So after you do this, you should have like this entire interface. At the top of our page, we've got like the quick access of some features of the Leonardo. In this course, obviously, we won't cover all of the tools inside of the Leonardo AI, also all of the techniques, because there, like, we'll only cover the tools which are necessary to create the AI influencers. However, if you are interested, I really encourage you to check out my other course about the Leonardo AI, where you will learn exactly from start to finish how to use this amazing AR generator. So feel free to check it out. So at the left side of the page, we've got like the sidebar, and there we'll need like to know this one tool, which is the image generation, alright? But before we'll go over there, in the main, I would say the homepage, we've got one additional feature which is very important, and this is the recent creations. So there we can go over and, for example, like pick the category character, and there just we can search for different inspiration, alright? So if we go over to any image, right there, we've got our prompt, we can just copy it right there, we can remix, alright? So use all of the settings with like the prompt, or just even there you've got some of the settings, and basically in this course you will learn like some of them. However there, as I said, you've got like this entire space to like search for the inspiration. Also there you can sort by the upscaled, by the motion, but this is not necessary for now, or whether they're by the new, or whether the top. So for now this is everything that you need to know about the main homepage of the Leonardo AI. Therefore now, let's go over to our tool, where we'll be able to create our consistent AI influencers. So let's go over ahead to the left side of the page, and click on the image generation. If you are using the Leonardo for the first time, it can be a little bit overwhelming. However, I will explain you like some of the, I would say, the most important features. So at the left side of the page, we've got like the sidebar with different metrics. So firstly, we've got the number of the, I would say, the coins. So there are the credits that we can use, for example, to create like the specific images. Like the credits, I would say, differ from the settings. So basically, if you will choose a lot of settings when it comes to your image, like the number of the credits in order to create the specific image like increases, alright? Same, if you will use, for example, not a lot of settings, let me show you very quickly the instance. For example, let's say there I've got the box where I can type my description for the image, alright? And there I can type, for example, a dog. And at the right top corner, I've got like the button generate, and there I've got the 6 tokens, so the 6 credits, alright? So this is the amount of credits that I need to spend in order to create these images. However, if I go over there, and for example, I will enable like some of the random options, there you can see like this number increases, alright? Also there, at the left side of the page, we've got like the number of images to create. So for example, if I will choose the number of the 3, like this, like the amount like decreases. However there, if I will choose the 6, like this number is bigger. Also there, you can see, and like definitely you can go over and play with it. If you have created the Leonardo account and you have the free version, you've got approximately 150 credits. And don't get me wrong, basically like this amount is enough for completing this entire course. However there, you will be able only to create like not a lot of images at all, because there you've got like the, I would say, the limited amount of the credits, and also like the images will be a little bit worse quality. However, as I said, you're able to complete this course without just buying a subscription. So again, for example, let's say you don't want to buy a subscription, therefore you don't need to choose this one settings, for example, and there for 4 images you will have like the 6, I would say, the tokens. So basically with the 150 tokens per day, alright, because this is the like the amount per day, you can create a lot of different, I would say, the images, alright? However, if you want to create the best AI influencers, I really encourage you to invest in the paid subscription. For now it's approximately the $12 per month, because there you have, I would say, 8,500 tokens per month. So this is the big amount of the tokens, and basically this is very enough, and also you will be able to use some additional features, alright? So again, feel free to go over there and decide for yourself. Also, when it comes to the subscription, we've got the 4 different plans. However, I think the standard plan is really enough, because there we've got a tons of the tokens to use, alright? So definitely you won't use, I would say, all of the tokens right there, despite the fact if you will generate a lot of images per day in the Leonardo. So I think this plan is very enough. However, as I said, feel free to use the free plan. There you've got the 150 fast tokens, but bear in mind that sometimes the per day you can encounter the lack of the tokens, alright? And also you won't be able to use some additional the features. And also the last one fact, if you are considering to buy a subscription, feel free to use the link in the resources of this lecture. So by this way you will help me a lot, buy me a coffee, and also participate in expanding this one course and also updating it. So I will be very, very grateful. Nevertheless, now let's go over back and cover rest of the features. Let's go over back to our sidebar. There again we've got the number of images. So you know there you can choose how much images you would like to create. But sometimes we've got the option to only choose, I would say, the specific amount of the images, maximum. And overall that depends from the settings. So for example there, I will enable the transparency. And there you can notice I can only generate up to 4 images at the same time. So pay attention to this one fact. There we've got the different settings which we'll be using, but we'll exactly cover them in the next one lectures, alright? So for now let's leave it. And there what we have, the very important topic, so the dimensions. So there basically we can choose the dimension of our image. So for example, we can make it as the 760 the 8 per the 1024, or whether choose different dimensions, alright? And there also we have something the aspect ratio. So basically in the next one lecture we'll exactly explain this one topic, but there you can choose different, I would say, the dimensions and the resolution of the image. So there this is very, very important. There below we've got something the image guidance, but we won't cover this for now. And there we've got the advanced settings. So we'll be using in this one the course the seed. And for now I'm just showing for you this one the feature. However, later we'll exactly cover what it exactly does, alright? So for now let's leave it. And basically these were all of the most important the features that for now you need to know. So firstly the prompt box. So there you are typing the description that you want, I would say, to receive. So the textual reference to the image. So if you will type a dog, you will have the image of the dog. There you can see we've got the female Instagram model, and there we've got the model. So that's how it works. Basically there the number of images, there this one features that later on we'll just cover. There the dimension, also we'll speak more about this. And there at the below that we've got something the advanced settings, and there the feature that we'll be using. So for now this is basically everything. We covered the basics of the Leonardo AI, we set up an account, and also we covered some of the, I would say, the basics options when it comes to the the main interface of our tool, alright? If you would please leave me your honest review of the course, it really helps me, and basically I will be very, very grateful, also all of the students, because you are saying if this course is just great or just not, what you like, what not, alright? So even other people from the outside will know if this course is worth to buy or not. So again, feel free to leave me your honest review, I will really appreciate it. For now this is everything, and I will see you in the next one video. So in this short video, we'll talk a little bit about the aspect ratio and which one is the best for our AI influencers. So overall, an aspect ratio is a proportional the relationship between the image the width and the height. And it exactly refers to the dimension that is defined, I would say, in the pixels. So there we've got at the left side of the page the image dimensions. And there you can see every time we change the image dimensions, like the aspect ratio, which is right there, like changes. So there we've got like the 3:4, 1:1, or whether 1:2, alright? There also what is very cool, we've got like the sliders, so this is the width and this is the height, and basically we can increase like the specific like the pixels, and exactly like the aspect ratio there changes. But also pay attention to the cost of our, like I would say, the generation, alright? So every time when we increase the pixels, like the cost increases. So there we've got like the 10. Also there we've got like the different aspect ratios, so we can choose 4:3, 9:16, or whether 2:3. However, now we've got like the very important fact. Which one aspect ratio or the aspect ratios are the best for our AI influencers? And this is very good topic to like think about it. So there I've got really great article, like with the exact like the visualization for our, I would say, the different dimensions and the aspect ratios. So there you can see like we've got the specific aspect ratio and like the amount defined like in the pixels, alright? Even let me like zoom it up a little bit. And this is like the dimension and the aspect ratio for the square feet post, which we are interested in, alright? So basically, we are very interested like in any, I would say, the dimensions for the Instagram posts. So there it is like the dimension, which is very, I would say, important to consider, alright? So the aspect ratio 1:1 and this one dimension, but basically like the dimension doesn't, I would say, affect the entire like the result. Because even if we will have like the dimension which is 2x, I would say, bigger, it will adjust in our, I would say, the feed post. There we've got like the most important, I can say, like the aspect ratio for our, I would say, the content. So 4:5. And this is exactly for the portrait feed post. There we've got like the story, which we are not exactly, I would say, interested in. So for this case you have like the 9:16 like the aspect ratio. Then we've got the reel, which is also in the same one like the aspect ratio as previously, and the story. And there also we've got the landscape feed post, which is also not bad, but definitely I can say like we'll mostly use this one too, like the different aspect ratios. So 4:5 and the 1:1. When we go over back to our Leonardo AI, we can just preview our different aspect ratios. So click right there, and there see, we've got the 1:1. But we don't have the aspect ratio, which is the 4:5. But I've got you covered. Because actually we don't need to have like the exact aspect ratio. We need to only have, I would say, very similar one. So very similar one aspect ratio to the, I would say, the 4:5 is the 3:4. And basically, when we go over and choose it, for example, like this one images, are they in the aspect ratio of 3:4? And now if I go over for the specific image, for example this one, and I will go over there and just download this image, and if I go over to any like the image resizer on the internet, and I will provide my image, which is in the aspect ratio 3:4, and then I will choose the custom aspect ratio, so let's say 4:5, like we've got only like the slight differences, alright? So this one part will be cut off, alright? Only this one part. So this is the not, I would say, not huge amount of like the image, alright? Not huge part. So definitely we can go over to the Leonardo AI and use the different aspect ratio, so 3:4, and afterwards go over to the any like the image resizer and do this very quickly, alright? So there, this is the great one method, like to crop your images and actually without any effort. So actually in this lecture we covered what basically like the aspect ratio is and also which ones are the best for our AI influencers. So bear in mind, we will be using like the aspect ratio 1:1, so basically the square, and I can say like the portrait one aspect ratio, right? So this is the 4:5, and overall these are the aspect ratios for the Instagram post on which we'll base, I would say, the most, alright? So with that being said, let's get into the lecture where we'll just create our first one images of our AI influencers. I'm very excited, therefore let's get into it. So in this video, let's exactly cover the proven formula in order to create the best images for our AI influencers. Also in this lecture, we'll create some beautiful arts based on this formula, however now let's go over and exactly cover it. So first things first, I need to say that this is very simple. Basically, we don't have a lot of different parts and a lot of different elements, alright? Because as I found, it works the best in the Leonardo AI, where we've got, I would say, the simple like the structure. So firstly, what we have? The sentence, female Instagram model. And we are using this every time, alright? So every time when we are creating our image, we are just typing female Instagram model, and there we've got our variables, as I can say, alright? So there you are just providing your keywords. So 3 adjectives. And there what we can include inside. You can go over to the left bottom corner and see the adjectives. We have the adorable, cute, young, attractive, athletic, cute, gorgeous, middle-aged, mature. Or even there. Afterwards, we've got, after 3 adjectives, we've got the hair color, and there you can type like the blonde hair, brown hair, or even the platinum hair. Next, what we have? So the eyes color. We've got there the green eyes, the violet eyes, or whether the ocean. And at the end, we've got the skin color, and we can type, for example, pale skin, sunburned skin, or whether the olive skin. So whether like choose what you would like right there, and also in this all variables, like choose your keywords that you think will be the perfect for you. And now with that being said, we can go over to the Leonardo AI and just create this art. And also what is very important, like you can go over and download this entire PDF with this one informations in the resources of this lecture. So every time when you will be creating, I would say different like the prompts, you can go over, open this file and like I would say base on it. And like see, I would say different like the examples. So for example there, you've got a lot of parameters to use. So let's get into the Leonardo AI, go over to the left side of our page and click on the image generation. And right there, let's go over and type our prompt firstly, alright? So we've got the female Instagram model. There we have the 3 adjectives. So for example, cute, young, and gorgeous. Then what we have? We've got the color of the hair. So for example, brown hair. We can type something like the sunburned skin. And also I forgot about providing the eyes color. So for example, let's go over with the green eyes. And that's basically everything for our prompt. You can see this is very simple, basically not, I would say, advanced at all. So as I found, it works the best. However, now we've got like the different settings to choose. Firstly, we need to go over and choose the proper model in order to create our arts. When we click there, you can see we've got a lot of different models. And overall, to better explain this topic very quickly, we can compare it to like different movies. Like the specific movie like has his, I would say, the plot, outline and the entire structure, alright? The theme, maybe it's the drama, or whether the fantasy or something like that. And same we've got with the different models of Leonardo. So each model produces like the images in the like specific, like the unique style, and the specific theme, and also with the specific details. So for example, like one model can be great for the anime, like the images, alright? The other one can be great for the hyper-realistic images. Another one can be great to create the fantasy, I would say the portraits, alright? Or whether any, I would say the objects. So basically we've got a lot of different models inside of the Leonardo. So for now we won't speak about it a lot, however now I will show you 2 the best models to use. So basically the first one model, which is the best one, is the Leonardo Kino XL. And the second one model is the Leonardo Diffusion XL. If you are using the free version of the Leonardo AI, you can go over with the Stable Diffusion 2.1, or whether go over and for example use the Dream Sharper. Or even if you want to discover all of the models, you can go over there and for example go over head to the community models. So there you can find a lot of different models provided by the community. Or even there, you can go over and search from the platform models. So there you have, I would say, more of them than in this, I would say, the drop-down menu. So feel free to go over right there and pick something that you like the most. So for now, what we can do? We can go over and select the Leonardo Kino XL. And now go over there. And there we've got like the types, I would say, of the arts. Alright, so the different, I would say, the styles. And there we've got something like the anime, dynamic, creative, general, illustration. But for now, I like to go over and pick something like the photography or whether the portrait. For now, let's go over with the photography. And now let's go ahead to the left side of the page, to our sidebar. So for example, let's choose the 4 images. And now let's enable the photoreal. This is the great one, I would say, the parameter, which like helps to create more realistic images at all, alright? So this is so powerful, I really recommend to use it. And even now you can see, when we go over there, it changed for us the style to the default one. However, there we can go over here and now choose the portrait. So in different, I would say, the models, or even if you choose some settings, you've got there different options. So let's go over there with the portrait, which works the best. After we've got the next one important feature, which is the alchemy, we need to go over and turn it on. And now we can see, like when we have the photoreal, every time it comes with the alchemy, alright? So it helps us to basically like create better quality images, like better characters, and overall just better images at all, alright, with the alchemy. And there we've got like the two, I would say the most important settings, our number of images, and now we can go over and choose the dimension. Firstly, we can go over there and choose the dimension 3x4. So we've got 664 and 880. However, if you would like, you can go over there and like select different, I would say, the dimensions. So again, there we've got the 3x4. Or just go over there and select 1x1. And for now I can say we've got everything that we need. So we can go over ahead and click there to generate the image. And also I recommend you to run it at least, I would say, 3 times to get the best images out there. And now just look on it, how amazing this is. And how realistic at all. We can go over there and zoom it up a little bit. And now look, we've got everything that we need. Green eyes, brown hair. Like this image is very detailed and just perfect, alright? I really love it. Then what we have, this one image for example. However, I don't like this one part. This one image is also great. What we have else, this one image. So overall you can see like the results are just outstanding. Very realistic. Like it seems as is this, I would say, the real person, alright? So just awesome. Amazing, I can say. Each image is closely to perfection. Also, what is very important, please feel free to like experiment with your prompt. So for example, change some parts. Maybe let's go over there and type blonde hair, blue eyes, and for example, pale skin. So like see what you like the most. For example, let's go over with something adorable. And basically like type a lot of different prompts, like test it out, because it will be very important to choose the proper one images for our Instagram model and choose only the best ones. Therefore like type a lot of different prompts, like experiment again and like try it out at all. So just amazing. Look on it. This model is just perfect, alright? The entire face, the sharpness of the details, everything is just awesome, alright? I can say for now. Also there you can see, we've got this one image. We've got this one image. So a lot of different, I would say, the possibilities, a lot of images. And also you can see this is just awesome, alright? Also what we can notice is that, for example, these images are very similar, alright? Because we've got the same one prompt. However, in the next one lectures, I will show you exactly how to create the consistent characters. To be, I would say, exact, or whether very similar to each other's, alright? So we'll have the nice collection of our consistent images that we can later on post up on our social media and basically like create our AI influencer from the scratch. So in the previous lecture, we exactly discovered the proven formula in order to create the beautiful like the AI Instagram models. However, now let's discuss how to create the consistent characters. So take this one image for example, so this woman's face, and basically put it in different situations, environments, and basically create the portraits of the woman, I would say with different clothes, and again, different situations. So overall, take this one character and create the consistent images of it. So now I've got for you like very interesting example to better understand it. Let's say you're going to the grocery and you see the exhibition of the oranges, alright? And you would like to buy some. And let's say, let's pick the, I would say the specific value. So for example, there, we've got like the 100 oranges right there, alright? And you are picking some of them, and you see the one which is just perfect, alright? It has only a one, like the green spot. However, everything is great, and like basically you would like to pick this one orange. And for sure this orange is just unique, alright? It has like the exact, like the green spot in the exact place, alright? So no other, I would say the orange has this one spot. However, there now comes to you like the, I would say the worker of the grocery. Maybe it's something not realistic. However, like this guy, for example, like tell you that he can choose, for example, for you 10 random oranges, alright? But you say, no, I want to have like this specific one. With this one, I would say the spot, which is the green, alright? So no other else but the specific one orange. And this is very similar situation when it comes to our seed. When we create any images in our, I would say, Leonardo AI, every time right there we can notice we've got our 3 dots. And there we've got our option to copy the seed. And the seed is the specific number which is exactly assigned to this one 4 images. So this one collection, I would say, of these 4 images, alright? If we go over there, for example, there like the prompt doesn't change. However, there, like pay attention to this one, I would say the seed. When I go over there and I copy this one seed, and I will paste it right there, like it's different, alright? So I would say the collection of the specific images that you created at the same time, like has like the specific and the unique number for this, alright? And this is great when you would like to create something very similar, because you can provide the seed, and every time when we create any image, it will take, I would say, this image as a reference, alright? So I would say the starting point, so this one seed. And every time it will refer and create something very, very similar. Of course, like it won't be exact the same because obviously this is the AI, however the accuracy of this one method and this one tool will be very, very, I would say, satisfying, alright? Therefore, with that being said, I hope that you like understand the entire concept, and in the next one lecture, we are going to create the consistent images of our AI model. So now let's go ahead and create the consistent characters, also practice how the entire seed works like, alright? For this case, we can go over there, and for example, based on this collection of the images, we can go over right there to these 3 dots, copy the seed, go over to the left side of our page, a little bit scroll down, and now enable this option, use fixed seed. And now basically let's there go over and paste our seed. And now basically how it exactly works. We can, for example, like don't change anything and run this prompt, and you will see what will happen. However, now in order to show you the difference, I will provide something right there. So for example, simple sentence, in the nature. And let's also run this prompt. So now let's take a look on the following results. So this is the collection of our images that we have taken, I would say, the seed from, alright? So from there we like copied the seed. However, there you can notice, I provided the same one prompt and I used the seed, alright? And it generated for me the same one images, alright? Because it referred to this one, I would say, the collection. However, there you can notice that below I used the same one prompt, but I didn't like, I would say, applied the seed right there. So this is very, very powerful because, for example, let's see there, I provided only in the nature, and now look how I would say these characters are similar, alright? So for example, this one image to this one, alright? This character is really the same, alright? Also, for example, this one image is not the same, so not very similar, for example, to this one. However, we've got 2 images which are pretty really similar, alright? Also this one image to this one. So by this way we can create really consistent characters in different, I would say, circumstances, alright? Because there, again, we can take a look on this one character and this one. So that's amazing. Even later on, we'll discuss the ways on how to improve, I would say, the faces. So switch the faces between the characters to even like improve, I would say, the consistency of the specific, like the portraits. So even if you want like receive something which will fit your requirements, we can do this, I would say, very easily and basically switch the faces. Also what I did there, I provided like the sentence log shot of the woman. So again, look on it and look on it. Pretty the same, alright? And by this way we can like provide other, I would say, the metrics to our prompt. So now even I can type something like the in the, let's say, restaurant. Let's type sitting and even red dress. And what is very, very important, if you basically like create the consistent characters images, first, use the seed. This is very, very important. Remember to enable this one option. And also, please keep the, I would say, the initial form of the prompt. So we've got the female Instagram model, cute, young, adorable, blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin. Every time in the prompt just include it, alright? Because after it will just generate for you really consistent, I would say, the images. So keep in mind this one fact. And also there you can add some additional, I would say, the metrics. So the parts of the prompt. So for example, in the restaurant, sitting, and for example, like the clothes, alright? And now let's go over and generate it. So again, you can notice, maybe some of the new images are not exactly the same as this one character, alright? But like look on this one image, for example. Like this character is very, very consistent. Like the entire face, like the color of the hair, or whether the waves on the hair are pretty similar as there, alright? And also there. So we've got something very, very similar. However, there also we can notice, if we provide a lot of, I would say, additional elements to our initial prompt, like the image will be less consistent as the parts of the prompt, I would say, increases, alright? So if we have more, I would say, additional parts, the keywords, like the images can be, I would say, more different than the initial one, I would say. And also what I encourage you to do is to experiment with the prompt. So for example, type in the club. And for instance, fancy dress. Or even you can go over there and type different, I would say, the camera shots. So for example, long shot, medium shot, or whether close-up shot, as you want, alright? For example, there I can generate it. Now let's go over ahead and remove this part. Again, generate it. For example, now type in the hotel room. Alright. And for instance, let's go over pink t-shirt and black pants. And now generate it. And even like provide different, I would say, situations, circumstances, and basically environment. And now again, pay attention, for example, to this one image and our initial one, for example, this one, alright? And even this one. This is pretty the same. Also, don't be scared if like the skin will be, I would say, darker a little bit. Because, for example, like there we've got like the skin, which is the olive, I can say, the type. And there we've got like the skin, which is, I would say, the pale. And then remember that we've got different lightings, depends, I would say, from the environment. So for example, in the nature, we've got the natural lighting. However, in the club, we won't have this one lighting, so we've got something which is more cinematic lighting. Like the most important fact is to have very consistent, I would say, the face of the woman. However, if the face of the woman just barely like changes, like we've got like the small like differences, it's also great. Because at the end of the day, we've got the blonde hair, like the blue eyes, like the same one, I would say, the lips, and we've got different environments and everything like that. So again, you can see we've got a lot of great images to choose from. Let's go ahead and see there. For example, this one image, it's not exactly the same as this one, but this one exact image is more likely to be very similar to this one. So again, this method is very, very powerful. I hope you see like this. I'm very excited every time when I'm speaking about this, because now we have the actual possibility to create very consistent characters. Even, oh my god, look on this one image in the uniform. That's perfect. I really love it. So this is something very, very powerful. If you would like, please leave me your honest review of the course. I'm very curious what you think about it. I'm very excited for now. And for me, this is something really, really awesome, very huge, and I really love it. For now, this is everything. I will see you in the next one video. So welcome everyone and the exercise of this course. And here is the perfect time for you to get into the action. So in this lecture, we are going to create from scratch our AI influencer and the consistent, I would say, images for it. And also, we'll discover different Leonardo models. So for example, we'll be able to create the characters in the anime style, or whether overall test out different the models for different purposes. Because obviously you need to remember, the AI influencer that you aim to create doesn't need to be, I would say, in the hyper-realistic, I would say, the style. We've got a lot of, for example, anime, the fans, a lot of people that are interested in different, I would say, the themes, alright? So for example, as I said, the anime, whether the fantasy or something just else, alright? Maybe cartoon, and by this way even, you can go over and create your AI influencer. So there you've got a lot of possibilities. Therefore, let's go over now, and firstly disable this one option, photoreal. And now even, let's go over and try the first one model, so the Leonardo Diffusion XL. And even what we can do, we can go over here and copy this one prompt, or just go over there and copy the prompt. We can paste it right there, and now basically let's disable the seed. We can remove it for now, and now let's see how it will work with the Leonardo Diffusion XL. In the meantime, what we can do, we can go over to the homepage of Leonardo AI and go over right here to the fine-tuned models. And there you can see, for example there, we've got Leonardo Anime XL, or even Leonardo Lighting XL, or just anything that you want. So there, for example, I'm very curious about the anime. I can go over here and generate with this model. And for instance, you can see, these are the results with the other, I would say, the model of Leonardo. So it's more, I would say, smooth, not a lot of, I would say, realistic. However, this woman, it's just great, it's just beautiful. So we've got very, I would say, smooth the face. However, there, for example, we've got the anime style, which is also pretty great, alright? So as you wish, you can choose different models. Let's, for example, look on it. And it's pretty nice, alright? So as I said, it depends from your preferences. Maybe you would like to create, I would say, the model, which will be, I would say, more smooth and more in the specific style. So you can go over ahead and, for example, pick the Leonardo Diffusion XL, or whether Leonardo Anime XL. And even in this lecture, we'll explore more models. However, now let's go over and look on the anime. So it can be also be an AI influencer. However, as I found, and which is the most powerful, is the hyper-realistic style. Nevertheless, feel free to go over and check this one, alright, so check different models. I'm just saying that I would say the hyper-realistic is the most, I would say, popular. Nevertheless, anime also may be a good idea in some cases, alright? Also, it depends from the business that you are promoting, so basically, that's how it is. To be honest, I must say that the Leonardo Lighting XL is also pretty good, alright? So there also we've got the realistic, I would say, the style, alright? However, there, when it comes to the photoreal, it provides, I can say, the raw, I would say, structure. Because we've got the skin which is rough, I can say, rough, sorry. And there you can notice, on these images, we've got the skin which is more smooth, alright? So we've got the smoothness. However, it's also realistic, because you need to pay attention that when someone sees our profile, for example, this person see the images which are smaller, right? So for example, this one. And this is looking very realistic. This one image is great. Also there we've got something like the Leonardo Vision XL. And there also these images are great. For example, I see the AI influencer, which looks like this, alright? So this is pretty nice. And also there, nice. It's looking very, very great. Pretty nice. So again, the choice is yours. You can go over and pick different, I would say, the models in order to create your beautiful AI influencer. For example, for now, I like this one model. So Leonardo Vision XL. Because there, as I can notice, the skin is glowing, alright, right there. And basically, this is very important fact. Afterwards, like when we have some instances when we don't have like the consistent faces, we'll be able to swap the faces. For example, let's say we'll be able to take this one face and like provide in this one image without just changing anything else, only the face. And like this feature works better when it comes to the faces that are smooth, alright? So for example, in that case, we can have some problems when it comes to this one case. So for example, like swapping the faces. However, in this one case, when the face is more smooth, it will be more efficient, I can say. Nevertheless, this one lecture is the exercise. So for now, we can go over there and copy the seed. And now we'll create our consistent characters. So let's go over there. Remember to enable this one option and paste the seed. And now let's go over. Let's copy the prompt. Let's provide it. And let's now provide something else. So for example, in the mall. And now let's pick the summer clothes, for example. And again, remember to at least provide, I would say, 3 times this prompt, or whether 2. 2 is enough, I can say. However, by this way, you just will get more like the examples and just better results. So now let's see what we have. For instance, let's set this image as the initial. So we'll be able to like search for very similar images like this one. For example, this one image is pretty nice. We can compare it. So sure, we can see, yes, this is nice. There, what we have, the image which is similar to this one. There also we've got the similar like the images. But there, for example, this one image is not similar. However, maybe this one is a little bit. So I encourage you to like experiment with it a lot, alright? Because sometimes you can see, for example, I think in these 4 images, we don't have like the image which is, I would say, very similar to this one woman. But there, for example, this one image is nice, alright? So this one image is very similar, I can say. Like look on it and look on it. This is pretty nice. So just again, try to use different prompts, like different environments, different clothes, as you wish, alright? And create a lot of like images to have, I would say, the base to choose from, alright? Because obviously you can see, for example, this one image is not very similar to this one, alright? So this one 2 images. So most time you will encounter this problem that some images won't be, I would say, very similar to the other ones. But as I said, you need to only pick some of them that will be, I would say, very similar to each other's. So as I said, this one image is great, this one image. So for now we've got 3 images like to publish on our social media. Even let's go over there and let's provide something else. For example, pink dress. I've got no ideas. Maybe we can pick something like in the crowded city. For example, let's pick the location, so the New York. And now let's generate it again twice, for instance. Now provide medium shot. Medium shot. Again, delete, for example, this one part. And let's provide something like the standing. We can generate it twice. And just as you can see, we can just go over and experiment with it to get the best results. So again, pay attention what we received. They're adorable, like the woman in a pink dress, which is very captivating, very eye-catchy, and very beautiful, alright? For instance, I like this one image. There we've got this one image, which is also perfect, and a lot of content to work with, alright? So again, I encourage you to try it out and provide a lot of different images. For example, let's say you will generate like 20 different graphics with different prompts. And even with it, if you will have, I would say, 2 images from this 20, it will be even great. Even 1 image, alright, which will be consistent with the initial one. Also, it will be great, because at the end of the day, you've got the post created, alright, on the social media. Therefore, like, pay attention to the consistency and provide very consistent characters. And also remember, like with playing with different models. So basically go over to the Leonardo, go over here and use different models to work with them, alright? And basically pick the one that you like the most and which is the most relevant to your purpose. For example, I recommend you to use the Leonardo Kino XL for sure, also Leonardo Vision, and even for example Leonardo Lighting. But again, feel free to pick the Leonardo Anime, or whether the Dream Sharper, or whether this one, Stable Diffusion. So you've got a lot of different possibilities, endless possibilities. This technology is really powerful. AI influencers are very powerful. This is pretty new topic. Therefore, it's the great topic to basically like take a look on it and just create your AI influencers and build your entire, I would say, the community and like promote this entire, I would say, the arts. In this video, we'll learn from start to finish how we can edit and improve our images. For example, remove the defects, or whether change the clothes, or just add the jewelry, and so on and so on. First things first, let's go ahead and pick some image. For example, I've got the idea to pick this one image, which is very great. I can go over right there and click download. Now we can go over back to our homepage of Leonardo AI by going to the left top corner and clicking right there on this arrow. And now basically we'll be using very useful tool. And I'm speaking about the canvas editor. There you've got like the quick overview, what this like the tool does. However, to get the access to it, you can go over there to get started here. And now you will find the canvas editor, or go over to the left side of the page. And there you should have like the tab with the canvas editor. And there we've got like this entire interface. Now let's go over and actually like drag and drop our image inside. And now we can basically with this tool apply different edits inside of our image. However, you can see there we've got a lot of different options. For example, this one frame. Basically like in this one area, so within this one frame, we'll do the edits. So for example, right there we can go over and like place this frame right there. And afterwards, we can apply some edits right there by drawing a mask. And overall, what is the mask? Let me show you it on the example. At the left side of the page, we've got like the feature, which is draw mask. And for example there, we've got something which seems to be like an eraser. But basically by drawing, I would say, this one like the shape, we are telling the Leonardo AI, alright, so within this one area, so this pink, I would say the lines, like generate there something, like based on our prompt. So we are just determining the specific part or whether the parts of an image to basically fill in, alright? So like generate something within, I would say, this one area. And also like this one frame shows the exact, I would say, the part of an image that we would like, I would say, to edit, alright? So basically if we'll have like this frame, just beyond this one mask drawn right there, like nothing will happen, alright? Because at the end of the day, we need to have everything, I would say, in this one frame. Because as I said, we are just telling the Leonardo AI that, hey, we would like to generate something inside of this, I would say, the frame. So now, for example, we've got our mask, we've got our frame, and we can type something. For example, right there, golden earrings. And let's generate it. So there you can see we've got something like this, and we can choose from different options. So for example, like the second one option is very, I would say, solid, and the first one, alright? And now we can accept the result, or whether cancel it, alright? So let me go over with the cancel, and now I will show you the situation, like when the frame will be just below our mask, so our mask will be outside of this one frame. So now I can click generate, and you can see that nothing changes right there, alright? Because we didn't, I would say, have this one mask inside of this one frame. At the left side of the page, we've got different features. Basically, the first one is the pan, and basically we can move the area by holding, I would say, the mouse, alright? And actually with this tool, we can easily navigate our entire space, alright? Then we've got like the option to select. By this way, we can like move around our frame, alright? And there we've got like the different options right there. So basically we have the snap, and basically it moves by the pixels. So if you go over and there will increase the value, you can see it moves by this way. So basically by using the entire pixels when it comes to our image overall. But basically if you go over there and will decrease the value, you can see it's more smooth. However, also we've got like the movement, so the entire frame is going through all of the pixels. However, there, if we'll like disable this one option, so the snap, like the entire, I would say, the frame is like very smooth, alright? So the entire movement is very, I would say, the consistent. After the select tool, we've got our feature to draw a mask. And basically there, we can like apply a mask in different areas. So for example, let's say I would like to change this one dress of the woman. So I can go over and now draw a mask. Or whether there I can increase the size of the mask or just decrease the size of it, alright? So basically decrease the size if you have the small details. So for example, you would like to apply changes in the lips, and basically increase the size if you would like, for example, to like select like the bigger area. Next we've got the eraser, but we'll skip this for now, and let's go over to the sketch. So basically there we can go over and, for example, again choose the size and basically choose the color, alright, of our sketch, and actually we can go over and draw something, alright, on this one image exactly. Next we've got the feature which is the text. So simply we can go over and click somewhere to add some text. So this is the text. Basically it's not, I would say, very useful when it comes to our instance, but you know, I'm showing you all of the options for you to better understand, I would say, this entire feature. However, let's go over back to our eraser. And basically there, we've got, I would say, at the top of our page, like this one, I would say the drop down menu. And there we can choose if you would like to erase all of, I would say, the sketches, the images and the masks, or whether like set up the eraser for the specific, I would say, the purpose. So for example, only to sketch the image. Let's go over back. And now basically, you can see we can sketch the image as we want, alright? Let me go over and undo this in the left bottom corner, or by clicking, I would say, the Ctrl Z. Then we've got like the very important like sketches. So we can erase, I would say, any sketches on the image. Basically, if we will have some sketches, we can go over there and just remove it as we want. And there we've got also the mask, which is also very, very important. And basically there we can remove our mask that we previously applied, alright, on our image. So this tool is very, very powerful because without just changing anything else, we can apply some changes, alright? So for example, for our character, we can add the earrings, like change the clothes, or whether even change the surrounding, alright, so the environment. However, there, at the right side of the page, we've got like the additional options. So firstly, as always, we've got like the credits that we can use. Basically, afterwards, we've got the model. So basically, like it chooses the model that will be used to generating the results. And basically there, we can choose as always from a lot of them. And basically, I recommend you to use the Leonardo Diffusion XL. This is the best one model when it comes to the editing, alright? So basically, feel free to go over and use it, or whether just go over and just experiment with it as always, alright? Now we've got below two, I would say, very important expressions that you could, I would say, encounter in the past. So the in-paint and the out-paint, or whether in-painting or whether out-painting. And overall, this is very, very simple. We are using the in-paint when we are just applying the changes inside of the image. And actually we are using the out-paint when we are just applying, I would say, the changes outside of the image. So maybe we are generating like the content, I would say, not within, I would say, this one image, but just outside, alright? So basically also we've got this one possibility. It will be not, I would say, very useful in our case. However, we can go over there and just, I would say, pick this one frame. And basically we can go over right there and just apply something. So simply we can go over to the prompt box and type crowded city. And we can click generate. And now you can see by this way, we've got another one part of the image, but I would say outside this one, I would say initial design, alright? Let me go over now and cancel it. So now you know exactly what the in-paint and basically the out-paint, I would say, mean. And now there you've got the option to enable. So basically if you will do the out-paint, so we will expand the image, I would say, in specific direction. So beyond our initial image, you can go over and like, I would say, enable this one option. But basically if you will do the edits inside of this image, you are staying with the in-paint method, alright? So basically like make, I would say, this one option disabled. Afterwards, we've got like the number of images, there the image dimensions. So basically like the size of this, like the frame will change, like depends from the dimension that we'll choose. Alright. And there we've got also the aspect ratio. And now basically we can go over right there. And for example, try to, I would say, edit something else. And now I would like to change this woman's, I would say, the dress. However, you can see I picked the biggest one dimension and it's too small, alright? And now what we can do, we can go over there and just increase by this, I would say, the sliders, the entire, I would say, the dimension of this one frame. And basically keep in mind to just very precisely, I would say, like adjust this one frame. Because basically, if you will like put this frame, I would say a little bit outside, it will create for you like this one part, alright? So now let me go over right there and for example, type something like the dress, for example, right? Without just providing any mask and just anything, it will create for us, I would say, this one additional part. So now we can see we've got something like this and definitely we don't want, I would say, to receive this one result. So again, pay attention to this fact. Let me go over right there and a little bit zoom it out. And now basically let's go ahead to our draw mask and let's, I would say, select this one entire area. So this one entire dress. Even we can go over and select the part of the, I would say, the parts of the arms. Let me go over, do this very fast. So we can do this by this way. And now we can go over right there. And for example, type something like the red fancy dress. And now the results are not very satisfying. However, it's not bad, but I would like to have, I would say, maybe the pure red fancy dress. So let's go over now and basically cancel this one result. And again, let's generate it. It didn't work exactly as I wanted, however, it's not bad. Also remember, every time, if your results are not satisfying, I would say, you can go over and expand, I would say, the mask area. So even you can go over right there and just expand it to let the Leonardo AI just have more area to work with. Also at the right side of the page, we've got something like the in-paint strength. So overall, when we'll use the smaller values, like the algorithm will more base on our initial, I would say, the dress. So this pink one, alright? And it will less adhere to our prompt. So now you can see I've got the value 0.5 and I've got the prompt, which is the red dress. However, it didn't provide for me the red dress because the value is too small, alright? So we've got also the pink one dress. However, when I picked the value, so the 0.9, I've got really great results, alright? So our red dress. So it adhered more to the prompt like than to our initial image. So actually we have it. With this amazing tool, we can apply some changes, remove the defects, or whether change the clothes of the, for example, some character, alright? Basically, bear in mind that this tool is not perfect, alright? Sometimes you may have a lot of, I would say, not very satisfying results. You may encounter some errors, alright? So again, this tool, it's not perfect at all. However, there we can do a lot of stuff, alright? So we can add the earrings, the jewelry, whether change the environment even, alright? Even change the clothes. So a lot of different things. And in this lecture, we covered all of the options that we have in this one feature, alright? So from now you know a lot about this tool and basically I encourage you to go over there and try it out. Let's now talk about the upscalers in the Leonardo AI and how we can use it for our advantage. However, first things first, we need to exactly understand what this tool does. So the upscaler allows us to multiply the image size without losing the quality, alright? So there, for example, we can like multiply the image size by the 2, so 2x, 4x, or whether the 8x. So there, for example, we've got two the same one images. And first one image like have the dimension 485 pixels per 640. And the second one image is the upscaled one version 2x, alright? So that means that this image is 2x bigger, alright? 2 times. And there we've got like the dimension, which is the 970 per 1280, alright? And now this is very, very important fact, because we can say, alright, but we can like increase the image size by doing something like this, alright? So it is not bad, alright, because we can increase the image size. And let me go over and exactly pick this one pixels. So we've got it, yes. However, now you can see the differences. Like there, when we like increase the size of the image by just stretching it, like the overall quality is getting worse and worse. Therefore, this is very important to every time upscale the image properly instead of just stretching it up, alright? Because for example, let's say on the Instagram, like we've got the dimension, which is the default one, like the 1080 pixels per 1350, alright? And then when we'll upload, for example, this one image, which like the dimension was approximately the 500 by the 700, for example, like it will stretch up for us like this image inside of the Instagram, and basically we'll get like this one result, alright? So the quality will be a lot of worse than like comparing with the situation when we'll go over and we'll upscale the image. And overall, when we are in our image generator, like beside these three dots, we've got the resolution, alright? So we've got like the input resolution, so now you can see, and the final resolution. However, the final resolution, so the image that we received, also needs to be upscaled, alright? Because there we don't have, I would say, required pixels. So 1080 by 1350, alright? So basically there, to avoid, I would say, the lack of the quality, we need to go over and upscale it. Also, every time it's better to have too big image than too small. Because let's say you upscale the image 4x, for example. And there you've got the resolution like the 4000 by, for example, I would say 6, I would say the 1000, alright? However there, if you will shrink the image, like look on the quality, it doesn't change, alright? So basically, the quality overall like changes when you will upscale the small image to the higher, I would say, resolution, alright? By this way. So now you can see like the quality is very worse. And now actually, how does it look like when it comes to the upscalers in the Leonardo AI? Mainly we've got a few of them, but we need to choose the one which doesn't change a lot our output results, because at the end of the day, we need to have the consistent characters. And actually, if we'll have small changes in each image, alright, it will be something bad for us. Because sometimes, like the upscalers, not even like increases the size of the image, but sometimes it improves it, I would say, barely, alright? So not a huge, but barely. But as I said, it's bad for our, I would say, the output results. Because we only need to have, I would say, the size increased. And now, for instance, there when we go to an image, we've got there the three upscalers. So the Alchemy Smooth Upscale, Alchemy Crisp, and the Alchemy Upscaler, alright? And now I will show you the differences between them all. So now actually right there, we've got like this drop-down menu. So there we have the results with the Alchemy Upscaler, there with the Alchemy Smooth. So basically the overall image is just more smooth, I would say. And there like, this is more crisp. So not a huge differences. However there, I've got you covered because I've got something very special for you. When we go over to our homepage of Leonardo AI, there we've got the Universal Upscaler. And basically, this is the best one, I would say, the way to upscale our images. So there, for instance, let's add some image. I can simply drag and drop my image right there. And now we can go over and like choose different options. So for example, we've got the upscaler style, but every time we want to keep the general one. However, there we've got the creativity strength. So basically, again, if we will pick the higher values, it will create something more different than our initial image. However, if we'll pick the value, the 1, it will just don't change, I would say, anything, alright? And basically the multiplier to X. So these are the best one settings when it comes to our AI influencers. Afterwards, you can see this is the image before upscaling, and this is after. So not huge changes, alright? Just barely. Just not, I would say, not visible to the human eye, I can say. However, there, in the right bottom corner, we've got different, I would say, the views. So we can go over there and, for example, compare it by this way. So this is before and this is after, alright? So I think like the differences are just not visible at all, alright? Even if you don't like, I would say, this one result somehow, alright? Maybe it provided for you something which not adhere to your requirements. You can go over there and upscale it again and just see there all of the results. Personally, I think that the upscaler improved the eyes. So we've got the brighter, I would say, the blue color. So this is just perfect. And even now I will show you the difference. If we will, for example, like pick the creativity strength of, for example, 7. So now you can see it changes a lot. and overall this image is not very captivating. Nevertheless, let's go over back to our previous creations. And now even we can preview the settings of these two images. So this one has, I would say, the dimension of the 952 pixels by 1256, alright? But this one image is upscaled, and now we've got 1904 pixels by 2512, alright? So even it improved, I would say, the entire the dimension. And now this one image we are able to post on our social media without just losing the quality overall, alright? So by this way, we can just easily upscale our images. Nevertheless, you need to pay attention of the, I would say, amount of the tokens that you are using. Because this, I would say, the tool is very the credits consuming, alright? Because right there, every time, we are approximately spending, I would say, the 30 tokens. So basically, if you don't have the paid one subscription, I really encourage you to purchase the one, because I think this is the great one investment. There we can use a lot of, I would say, different additional features inside of the Leonardo AI, and we've got a lot of different possibilities with the paid one subscription, alright? And basically, at the end of the day, you have 8,500 tokens to use. So basically tons of them per month, and basically it is very enough to try out different features and basically use them a lot of times. And also if you would like, you can go over and use my link in the resources of this lecture. I will be very grateful. Nevertheless, feel free to use it or not. However, also, if you don't want to spend money on the paid subscription, in the next one lecture, I will show you completely free tool, basically to help you to upscale your images. So in this lecture, we'll exactly cover the free upscaler that you can use to increase the size of your images. And actually I'm talking about iloveimage.com, the link will be in the resources of this video. And there what we can do, we can go over and drag and drop our file. And now you can see that this tool looks very similar to this one in the Leonardo AI. Also there we've got the dimensions, so this is before upscaling, and this is after. And now even we can choose the size multiplier, so the 2x or whether 4x. Let me choose the 2x and click upscale. And there, let's download the image. So now you can see that quality is also very good. We can go over there and increase the size of this image, and we see the difference between them both, alright? So this is the free tool that basically you can use in order to upscale your images. It is also very great as in the Leonardo AI, and basically this is the free one version. So basically feel free to choose which one tool you would like to use. And again, I will put the link in the resources of this material. And for now, this is everything. I hope you liked it. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one video. This is the great time in this section to refine our knowledge and practice what we have learned so far. So overall, this video will have a kind of the form of the exercise, where we will practice how to use the upscalers, also the canvas editor. So basically with this tool, we are going to remove some defects, like add some additional parts, for example the clothes, or just even edit the image at all. And with that being said, let's exactly pick the image to edit. For example, this one is really great. Therefore we can go over there and download it. We can go over to the canvas editor and just drag and drop it right there. And I would say, added some things. For example, firstly, I can go over and for example remove, I would say this one defects. So let me go over there, decrease the size of the mask. And for example this one, and provide the skin. And just you can see, in a few seconds, we don't have any defects on the face. This is just great. Even let me go over and do something I would say more advanced. Let's go over and preview the image dimension. We've got 896, so we can go over there and provide the width and the height of 1344. So let me go over there and do this by this way. And now let's go over and basically cover this entire image with this one frame, alright? And even now, what I would like to do, I want to go over there and cover this entire part, alright? So change the background. And basically let's do this very precisely. So basically use the bigger size to actually cover this all parts. And now even when we do this, we can go over and zoom it up by clicking the control and I would say the scroll on our mouse, or whether you're just clicking there. Let's use the smaller, like the size of this one mask, applier, and like basically cover this entire parts. And do this very, very precisely again. You can see this process is not, I would say, time consuming. However, you need to be very precise when it comes to this one, I would say, the stuff. And now even we can type something like in the nature. And now let's go over there and change the in-paint strength to the 0.8 and click generate. And this is just perfect. We've got our trees in the background. Also there we've got something like a car, and there we've got another one version, and again we've got something very, very nice. Even we can go over there and type, for example, in the fancy restaurant. And now let's go over back and cancel this one result, and again let's generate it. This is just great, just awesome. This is just perfect. Just imagine we can like put our AI influencer in any, I would say, like the situations, in any environment, or just change the background as we wish. For example, let's go over and type in the hotel room, and for example bed. And again the results are quite nice. I really love it. Now let's for example change something else. So let's go over there and for example add the earrings for this woman. So just do it by this way. Just small, I would say, part of the image. And let's type silver earrings. And the results are very captivating. We've got two different options. I really love this one, this is great. Let's go over ahead and for example change the color of this one t-shirt. So again, let's go over and draw a mask. Let's go over ahead, right there. And even we can a little bit overlap, I can say like this one, I would say the jacket, alright? Because at the end of the day, it will work great. And like the algorithm, like will have the knowledge that there is, I would say, the jacket, and that it needs to be very consistent, alright? So we can go over there and type, for example, cream shirt. And let's go over and, for example, stay with the in-paint strength of 0.8, and now let's see if that will work. So again, this is huge. We've got our cream shirt, which is just amazing, alright? The results are just great. Even let's go over and see this one result. Alright, this is even better. Let me keep it this one. And now even what I can do, I can go over and for example, change this, I would say the necklace. Again and again and again. I've got no words for this. This is just perfect. We changed our t-shirt, we changed our environment, we added the, I would say, the earrings, also the necklace. And now when we applied all of the changes, let's go over and download this one image right there. However, at the end I changed a little bit like the entire like the background. Because for me it seemed to be, I would say, too similar to the initial one image like the background. Nevertheless, let's look on the differences. This is something very, very awesome. Because actually we can create our AI influencer and actually apply some changes inside of the image without just changing the entire face. This is so powerful. I hope that you see this, alright? And even now, like you can see, we've got a lot of like differences. We can just manipulate the entire image, and overall like I would say the changes are not visible for the human eye. So you don't see basically that this, I would say, the image was like, I would say, edited, alright? However, now at the end, when we have our image finished, we can go over to the universal upscaler and just upscale it. And remember, this is very, very important. Every time when you like have your image which is fully finished, you don't need to apply any, I would say, adjustments or edits. Go over and at the end, just upscale this one image. And this is fully done. I picked my image and basically I set up my settings, which are the best one for this case. So the creativity strength of 1 and the multiplier 2x. And now we can go over there and upscale it. And for now, it was the entire process of creation. So firstly, we like took the image and basically edited some parts. We generated the jewelry, we changed the t-shirt, also we changed the environment, so the background. And afterwards, we went over to the, I would say, the upscaler, and we upscaled this one image. And this is the entire step-by-step process how you should do this, alright? So firstly like create the image, afterward just edit it, and after everything just upscale. Or even if you don't need to edit some image, go over and just straight upscale the image as well, alright? So there you've got, by this way, full finished works to already publish on some social media. So sometimes you may encounter this one situation when you are working within the Google Colab. So cannot connect to GPU backend. So it's very common situation when you are, for example, using the face swapper in some day, and for example, like the one day later, you want to use like this face swapper again. So in this lecture, I will exactly show you what you can do in this one situation, or even also how to prevent like of running out from the GPU time. So firstly, what is very important, every time when you are using your face swapper, like in the background, like I would say the entire like the code is running. So there you can notice, at the below of the page, you've got, I would say, the information, executing 30 minutes. And when you have the Google Colab free subscription, you've got 12 hours, I would say, the limit of the GPU time usage, alright? So basically, you can run the session, I would say, 12 hours long. However, you can say, alright, but I'm only using, I would say, the face swapper for the 2 hours, or maybe 1 hour. So this is very important. For instance, let's say we are using the face swapper, and we don't want to use it anymore, so we are closing, I would say, this one tab. However, you can notice, like the entire process is still running in the background, alright? So it's still executing. And basically I've got this problem when I for first time like were using the Google Colab. So I didn't like turned it off, alright? And basically every time, if you are like using the face swapper, you need to go over right there to this drop down menu and basically click disconnect and delete runtime. Alright, and now we can click yes, and basically you can see it stopped after 30 minutes, alright? And every time when we want to use our face swapper, we need to go over to the right top corner and click there to reconnect. So now you can see it succeed. So we've got our T4, our RAM and the disk, so everything is at the point. And again, if we want to use our face swapper, we need to go over right there and click run all. And again, if everything is done, also bear in mind that it takes, I would say, a few minutes. We can go over there and click on this one link, as always. And again, as you can notice, that we've got our entire interface and we are ready to go in order to use this tool. Also, you need to pay attention to the fact that I would say our settings restarted, alright? So we've got the default ones. So every time we need to go over and, for example, enable the face enhancer, there we need to GPN 512 like enable, and basically like the settings depends on the image or whether the video. Alright, but now you can ask, but what if I already like have this one notification, so cannot connect to GPU backend? If that means if I can't like use, I would say, like the Google Colab anymore, and basically I need to buy a subscription, or even what is happening? So we've got a few solutions for this problem. The first one is to just wait. Basically, like Google Colab didn't define the time on how long we need to wait in order to, again, I would say, use the GPU. Basically, for me, I can say it takes 1 day or whether the 2, alright? Or even I can say it can last, I would say, the several hours. That depends from the demand, on the like the Google Colab and a lot of different factors. So this is the first one way to just wait, and after, I would say, some hours, or maybe I would say the day or whether 2, try to reconnect, I would say, your entire like the tool. And the second one way is to just purchase, I would say, the Google Colab subscription. So for now it costs approximately $12, and basically if you don't want to wait, I would say, some hours or whether some days, you can go over there and basically like pay for the subscription, and immediately you will have like the access to this one entire, I would say, the tool, and you will be able to connect your device, alright? So actually these are the two solutions that you can basically do in order when you have like this one notification. However, every time, again, remember, when you're just ending like creating the face swapping, go over there, click on this like the drop down menu, and just click disconnect and delete runtime. So basically you can avoid, I would say, this one situation sometimes. Of course, maybe like sometimes you will have like this one situation when you will run out from the GPU time. However, the probability will be just smaller. So pay attention to this one very important fact. So in this lecture, we are going to discover another one tool that will allow us to swap the faces between the characters. And I'm speaking about the inside face swap. And basically, in order to set up this entire tool, we need to go over to the Discord and click at the left side of the page on the plus to add a server. And this is very important. We need to click to create my own server. And actually we can select one from these options or just skip this question and basically name our server. So for example, face swap community. And now we can click create. In the resources of this lecture, I will attach for you the link with the documentation of this one, I would say the tool. And basically when you will click on it, we need to go over there to this one link. So Discord bot invitational link and click on it. Next we'll have this entire the notification, and now there we need to select a server. So keep in mind to select ours, so face swap community, and now let's click continue. Now let's go over with the authorize, and now you can see that our bot is added to the server. The next one step will be to choose the images that we want to work on. And basically every time try to pick, I would say, the front face the image, alright? So basically the character which is looking to the camera. For example, I would like to go over and pick this one image. So I would like to set this one face on other images. And for instance, let me go over and for example, download this one image. So let's download it. And also, maybe let's go ahead and download this one image. Now let's go over ahead to the type box and type something like save ID. Now let's click on it or just click enter. And now basically we need to provide the name of our character. So for example, let's say it will be the Anna. And now actually what we can do, we can go right there and take this one image and drag and drop right there. So actually it doesn't work for that case. So we need to go over to our folder with the downloads and just pick this one image and drag and drop here. And now with that being said, we can go over and press just enter right there. And now the entire process is very, very simple. We need to type slash and now swap ID. So we can even type or just click there. And now ID name. So the name of our character. And it was the Anna. And now we need to provide there the image. So for instance, I would like to go over and provide this one image. And basically what it will do, it will take the face from our character that we set up, so this one, so the Anna, and it will insert it on this one image. And now basically we can click just enter. And after a few seconds we've got it, alright? So this one image. And now we can compare it to this one. This is pretty the same. This is very, very nice, very solid again. So again, this one image to this one. That's nice. And now even to download this one image, we need to go over right there, right click, open the image in the new tab, and now again right click and save image as. Now let's go ahead and swap another one face. For example, for this one image that we provided before. Let's go over again and type slash swap ID and click enter. And now provide the name. So the Anna. And now drag and drop the image inside of this box. And now we can see it takes only a few seconds basically to do this, alright? So I think, yes, we've got it, alright? So we've got our image with the swapped faces. We can see how it exactly works. So this is quite nice. Also, remember that every time we can go over to the Leonardo AI and upscale this one image. And now we can see the overall quality is just better a lot, as always. We can download this one image and look on it by this way. Oops. We've got this one image, which is just great after the swapping faces. Let me go over and show you the image before. So we've got something like this. And the difference, I can say, is just huge, alright? We've got there the less makeup, and also the image is more similar to this one, alright? So now we can compare it. So now this is after this face swapping, and this is before. So now we can see the difference is just huge and basically very, very powerful. So basically we've got it. In this one lecture we discovered the second one way on how we can swap the faces between the characters. I hope that you liked it. Remember, every time if you would like, please leave me your honest opinion of the course. It helps me so much. It gives me the motivation to work harder and also update this entire course and just provide for you the most relevant, I would say, information as I do every time, alright? So every time I try to do my best, alright, when it comes to every the course and every the lecture. And again, I will be very grateful. With that being said, for now we know the two methods on how we can swap the faces, and in the next one lecture we'll know the third one method, which will be also very powerful. So with that being said, again, let's get into it. So far, we have already discovered two very important tools that allows us to basically swap the faces between the characters. However, if you don't want to set up the tool by yourself, I've got you covered, because there I have for you the perfect solution. Basically, in this lecture, I will show you exactly the software which is exactly perfect for that case. And I'm talking about the website called Upscale. So feel free to go over to the resources of this lecture, where I will attach my link to this one website, or go over and type the upscale.com. And now if you are there, go over right here to the platform and click on the face swap. Also overall there, you should set up your account in order to get the free credits, alright? However, now let's go over there and just drag and drop our files. And I've got this one image as the source, and even now I can go over to the plus and choose the face for it. It is uploaded for now, as you can see. We can click on it. And now basically we have set up our the images. Now even let's go over there and click on the face enhance. This is very, I would say, powerful. And now we can click on high quality face swap. Afterwards, we need to go over ahead to my library. And there we'll have this one image with the swapped face. And now actually we can compare this one images. So basically it's also very powerful, right? And you can see we've got a lot of similarities between them both. If you would like to download the image, you need to click there to basically download it. But what is very important, after downloading the image, you can see in the right bottom corner we've got the watermark. So of course I don't recommend you to go over to the Photoshop and remove this entire watermark. And basically to get the images without this watermark, we need to go over there to the pricing, and we need to buy the subscription. But you know, I'm only showing for you this one software because I think this is very great. There you've got the $30 subscription, so the 0.05 USD per I would say the credit. And there you've got the 600 credits, and basically one image generation takes approximately 3 or 4 credits, alright? So you can create a lot of the images out there, alright? However, as I said, feel free to use the free one version, or whether use the, I would say, the tools that I showed you previously. So these are the free ones, alright? However, as I said, you can go over and invest in this tool, so the decision is yours to make. Also there you've got the 3 days for free, so you know you can test it out, and afterwards if it won't fit your requirements, you can cancel the subscription. We can again upload some image that on which we would like to swap the faces, alright? So there the face will be different, and there you can see I've got a lot of faces uploaded. So for example, let me go over with something like this. Let's enable the face enhance and swap it. Or even now I can go over there and remove this one image and go ahead, for example, to this one, alright? And again, do this stuff. And now again, we've got our results. So this one and this one, alright? And also there you can notice, the previous one, I would say the creations that I did in the past. So I must say this is very great. So with that being said, for now, you know 3 very powerful ways on how you can use, I would say, the face swapper to swap the faces between the characters. So basically, I recommend you to test it out, basically all of them, and pick the one that fit your requirements the most, alright? So pick the one tool basically to work with, alright? And with that being said, I hope again that you liked this lecture. For now, this is everything, and I will see you in the next one video. So welcome everyone in the exercise of this section, where is the great place for you to get into the action. And basically in this one project, I can say we'll just create the images and basically we'll swap the faces for them. So again, feel free to do this together with me, because this is very important. If you will practice, for example, for 10 minutes or whether 20, you will exactly know how this tool exactly works, alright, and you will have, I would say, the experience in using it. You will see what is great, what is basically not working, and what is working, and overall, all of the cons and pros of this one, I would say, the solutions. First things first, what I did. I generated like the additional images for the purpose of this project. So I typed female Instagram model, cute young adorable, platinum hair, blue eyes and the pale skin. And we've got something like this. Also I used the Leonardo Vision XL. And now, for example, I like really this one image. That's perfect. I can download it. This one. So now you can see this formula. So the prompt formula is very powerful and very universal, because with that method you can create just the, I would say, the masterpieces. Just beautiful, like the AI influencers. And now this is very important part. Basically we need to choose one of the face swapper from the 3 that we have already learned. So the first one tool that you can use is the Face Fusion. So this is the tool that is working with the Google Colab. The second one is the Face Insign. So this is the tool like with the Discord. And the third one is the Echo. So this is the software in order to like swap the faces. So basically the choice is yours. Pick the one that you like the most. To be honest, I must say that the Face Fusion is my favorite, because there we've got this tool totally for free and basically the results are just very solid and outstanding. So now basically we can go over and upload our source image, or even I would like to provide this one image as the source and this one as the target. And now let's go over ahead and enable the options. So face enhancer, now change the GPN 512 and now increase the image quality to the 100, alright? And now basically we can click start and see like the results. So we've got something like this, which is pretty nice, alright? So the quality overall we can just improve by simply downloading this one image, and as always going to the universal upscaler, changing the creativity strength and upscaling it. And now we can compare these both images. So I think this is pretty nice. So we've got the same one lips, the same one form, very similar nose, and overall the entire face is just pretty similar, I can say. Also, what I very recommend you to do is to basically like try out different images, because sometimes it may not work very great when it comes to some image, alright? But on the other hand, when you will take other image, it can work even better, alright? So basically every time this is the most important, to just experiment, just work and put some effort into like creating the best one results, alright? So basically like practice. And again, I really encourage you to take the action inside of this course to basically better refine your knowledge and actually remember all of this, I would say, the features, because in the future it can help you a lot, alright? Furthermore, I'm very curious what you have created, alright? So which one images of the models you have created, and also how it went with like the face swapping. If you would like, you can share your results on this one email. So basically I will be very happy to see your results and I will try to respond within the 48 hours. So again, feel free to contact me anytime and like share your results. I will be very happy. For now, I hope that you like this exercise, and again we have it. I really appreciate your appearance in this course, your engagement, that you are putting a lot of time into these materials, and also your trust in me, alright? That you trust me, that these methods are very powerful. Basically, I'm trying to do my best, so I hope that you see that. And with that being said again, thank you so much. For now, this is everything. I will see you in the next one lecture. So with that being said, let's get into it. First things first, let's discuss what we need to have in order to create the beautiful AI videos, basically with our AI model. So firstly, we need to have the source image. So the image from where we want to take the face for our video. Basically there the first one question that you can ask is, alright, but which one videos, so which one type of the videos should I create? And I think like the TikTok videos, so this type of content is the most relevant and most effective. Therefore also you can go over to the TikTok and search for your inspiration, alright? So for example, I really recommend you to pick the character which is very similar to your AI model. So you can go over and see which one videos will be relevant, alright, and which one content you should create, alright? However, now there is another one problem. You can ask, alright, but from where can I take the videos, alright? For my videos for the AI model, alright? So the AI influencer. And basically I've got for you a few solutions. The first one solution, and I basically did this, I asked my friend to basically share with me like her, I would say the videos, alright? So the TikTok videos. So first one way is to go over to your friends and maybe some friend, I would say record the TikToks or some content, and basically like this character is very similar to your AI influencer. So you can go over there and ask, hey, can I use your videos for my AI influencer, right? The face will be different, so it's not a big deal. However, if you don't have this opportunity, you can go over to the TikTok and search for some profiles. So basically, for some girls which are looking very similar to your AI model, right? And basically afterwards ask them to record for you the videos and basically pay them for it, alright? So I think you can do a great deal with it. So this is another one idea how you can exactly do this. So maybe like some, I would say, the influencer will have, I would say, not many like the followers, and you will do this with the affordable price. The second one way is to go over to the pixels and find some videos which are free to download, alright? Because this is free like the stock, like the platform. So for example there, you can see for some videos, look for them. So the girl which is dancing. And also there you've got some of the videos that basically you can use, alright? To swap the faces afterwards. The next one idea is to go over to the Fiverr and hire someone which will record the video for you, right? So basically there I think you can make a deal with some girls that will be eager for you to record the videos, which will be very, very short and basically very, very simple, right? And by this way, basically, you can do this entire stuff. And the last one idea to get your videos for your AI influencer is to go over to the internet and maybe search for the platforms which will actually like have, I would say, maybe the free content, so free videos overall to download, or whether you need to pay for the subscription. So basically, let's say you will pay like the $20, but there you can download maybe the 50 like the videos. So it will be, I would say, very, very nice. Or whether again, search for different platforms that basically allow you to like, I would say, download your perfect videos for the AI influencers. However, at the beginning, when you are starting your journey with creating the videos with your AI influencers like the face, I really recommend you to go over to the internet, maybe to some stock website and pick the free content, alright? Because afterwards you can like try it out, and later on, if you will think that this is pretty okay, you can go over and buy, I would say, some videos, or whether ask for the cooperation with some Instagram model or something like this, alright? So basically do it by this way. Again, I really recommend you to go over and firstly pick the free content to just try out this one features, alright? So basically these ones that we'll cover in the next one lectures. So finally, in this lecture we are going to exactly cover how to generate beautiful videos with the face of our AI influencer. So first things first, we need to go over and select our perfect image as a reference for our video, right? So from this image, like this face will be taken, and afterwards it will be like inserted in the video. However, I encourage you to download a few images, and this is from the simple fact. For example, like one image can work better than the other, alright? So basically like you need to experiment with it as always. And also pay attention to the fact that it's the best when the image, I would say the character on the image and the character in the video will be, I can say, quite similar, and overall this is important to have like the same one color of the hair, for example, right? So this is very, very important, because if you will have like the brown, I would say the image of the brown haired woman, and the video with the blonde girl, like basically you will have maybe the face which will be similar, but the entire color of the hair will be just different, alright? And even now you can guess why I like so much like the face fusion. Because there, not even we can swap the faces when it comes with the images, but actually we can go over and just upload the videos right there, alright? So even we can swap the faces, so provide the image, basically the video, and there swap the face on the video. And it will be so powerful, and basically this tool is very universal. And firstly what we can do, we can drag and drop the image in the source, so this is the face, and that will be inserted in the video. And later on, we can go over and drag and drop the video right there. Alright? And now, basically, let's go ahead and go over and change the settings. So actually there we've got few very important metrics. The first one is the face enhancer. And later on, when we scroll down a little bit, there we've got the output video quality. We want to go over with the 100. Now go over to the resolution, which will be for our case like the 9:16, which is the best one for the, I would say, the TikToks and the Instagram stories, for example. So we are picking the 1080 per 1920. And now we need to increase the video FPS, alright? So it will increase the smoothness of our video. And now actually we can go over and start, I would say, the entire process. And basically it can take from the 5 minutes to the 10, or whether the 3. That depends from the settings. So there it will take more time because we have the bigger resolution, the bigger amount of the FPS, and the better quality overall. And basically there, this one video, I would say, have the 15 seconds of the length, alright? So it will take some time. And after some time, we've got our results. Basically, I uploaded a few different the images and a few different videos. So basically, this is the first one video. And actually, this is our image. And now we've got our, the video of our AI influencer. Basically, we need to pay attention that this is, I would say, not very realistic. However, it is great for, I would say, AI generated, the video for the TikToks. So basically, now you can see, these videos in comparison to the images are definitely AI generated. However, I see the TikTok, I would say the profile, which has, I would say, consistent videos of the AI generated model, alright? And basically by this way, we can just create different and various videos with our AI influencer face, very effortlessly. And also we need to remember that this one tool that we are using for now is totally for free. So basically there you can create a lot of different videos out there. Try different images, alright? Different source videos. And a lot of stuff to work with, alright? Basically go over there and just try it out by yourself. For example, there I use another one image. And there I just use this one video. And now we can see the results. Let's go over right there and see what we have. And this is pretty nice. I really love it. Despite the fact that this is looking like the AI generated, we've got the consistent face in each the time of the video, right? So this is so powerful. And definitely this is something very, very great. Also remember to try out different, I would say, the images. For example, I like more this one video than the previous one. Because, for instance, I use different the sources. So obviously we've got the different woman's face. And for that case, it works even better for this one video. If you would like to download some output video, you need to go over, as always, to the right top corner of the video. And now click on the download. So in this lecture, we exactly covered how we can create our videos with our AI influencer the face. I must admit, it's not looking very realistic. However, I see the TikTok profile, which has, I would say, the AI generated content, alright? So this kind of the form of providing, I would say, the entire the videos, or whether the TikToks. Just even remember that you need to decide for yourself which one form of the content you would I would say, to provide, alright? Even it will be the TikToks or just the images on the Instagram profile. Or even, for example, you can go over and just, I would say, provide the images per day on the Instagram, and sometimes, for example, once per week, just provide the videos for your AI influencer. With this the course, you've got a lot of possibilities. You can create the images, consistent images for them, the videos, and so on and so on. So basically every time you can go over there and search for the new possibilities. If something doesn't fit your requirements, every time remember you can go over and switch the type of content that you can provide, alright? So I think this is very, very powerful. With this one method that we covered in this lecture, we can create the AI generated the videos with our, I would say, the AI influencers the face. For now, this is everything, and I will see you in the next one videos where we are going further and further into the entire the AI influencer concept. So let's discover now extremely powerful software that will allow us to generate high quality videos for our AI influencers. And I'm talking about the tool which is called the Maya Create. The link will be in the resources of this material. Basically there you need to go over and just sign up and set up your account, alright? Afterwards, when we are there, we can go over to the AI face swap. And there we can do a lot of stuff. For example, photo face swap, video face swap, or whether multiple face swap. For now, we are interested in the video like the face swap, so we can go over and click on it. And now basically there, we need to upload our video, and next up the photo. And simply when we do this, we need to go over ahead and click on swap face now. And after a while, we've got our result. Let's go over ahead and click on the download right there. Now let's go ahead and preview how it exactly are pretty much better, like comparing to the previous one tool. However, you need to pay attention to the fact that this one tool, basically there you've got some free credits, however it's paid, alright? And the previous one tool is totally free. So there even we can go over there to the pricing and see the entire pricing. We've got like the 4 minutes of the video for just $13. And basically like one video can have, I would say, up to 10 seconds. So with that being said, basically you can create like 24 videos with buying like this one subscription for the $13. And actually even you can go over and post your videos, for instance, like once per week. And with that being said, you've got, I would say, like the 6 months of just providing the content to your like the profile. So I think this is not a huge price. I would say for this one, I would say the kind of the tool. However, just I would say like decide for yourself. Even you can go over and use the free one tool that we previously covered, alright? So feel free again to decide for yourself. However, I'm showing you this tool because I think the results are there very captivating and very solid. Once we have finished our entire process of creation for our AI influencer, now it's the best time to actually speak about the strategy or even like where to publish our AI influencer, and basically we'll start with this one topic. Personally, I think like the best one platform out there is the Instagram to actually publish our AI influencer. Because we could notice like before, a lot of AI influencers like succeed on the Instagram. Because there we can just publish our images, and basically this platform is perfect for this one case, alright? So for this one type of the content. There you can see we've got our Bermuda is Bay, which has a 230,000 followers. Basically also I picked the example which is not, I would say, the most popular one, because out there we've got, I would say, the profiles that I would say have a 3 million followers, or whether 2 or something else, alright? So we've got a lot of, I would say, different and more popular profiles out there actually. However, there you can notice we've got 270 posts. So I can say this is not too much. And there even we can see that this one profile like don't provide any videos out there, alright? So it only like focuses on the images. So we can like notice like the quality is overall not the best. Therefore with this one methods learned in the course, I'm sure we can provide a lot of better images than this, alright? So basically you can see this is something very amazing. And even as I said, this is very important indicator, because every time you need to look if you can provide something better, right? If you can like, I would say, beat your the competition, if you can provide more posts, or just overall just do something better. So basically you need to find, I would say, the field where you can just beat all of your competitors. And personally, what I recommend you to do, basically you know that the entire process of creation of the image I would say doesn't take a lot of time. Maybe you need to like generate 8 images in order to get one which is great. Therefore just do the following stuff. For example, create the 30 consistent images, and once a day just publish your image of your AI influencer on the Instagram. However, we'll talk about the entire strategy like more in depth in the next one lecture of the course. Also, what I recommend you to do is to like focus on only one platform. So mostly like pick whether you will choose the Instagram or just you want to create the videos on the TikTok or something else. So I recommend you really to put a lot of effort inside of the one platform, because if you will put, I would say, part of the effort on one platform, so let's say the TikTok, and the half on the, I would say, second one platform, so on the Instagram, it won't work, because your competitors like will beat you, because they will like put like the full time inside of creating like this one profile, alright? So some specific profile, for example the Instagram one. And now when you will not, I would say, focus on this one profile on the Instagram and you will like put some effort also on the TikTok, like it won't succeed. However, you can just divide your focus into two, I would say, the statistics. So for example, 80% like focus on the Instagram and 20% on the TikTok. I think this is very healthy. Basically, you are not putting a lot of effort into the second one platform, and mostly you are just focusing on just one platform out there. And with that being said, even you can just try out something on the TikTok, alright? So basically like mostly cover the Instagram. However, like see if on the TikTok you will get, I would say, some successes, alright, out there. The second one platform that I obviously recommend you to try out on is the TikTok, alright? So there you can just provide the videos and basically like create the profile for your AI influencer. Basically there you can provide the TikToks and actually create the consistent profile of it. And also I recommend you to like provide the consistency into your profile. So post up a lot of different TikToks, and actually this one method is also great because even we can create like the videos based on our like the AI influencers like the images. And the next one platform I basically recommend you to post up your videos is the like the YouTube, and basically there just use the YouTube Shorts. This is the same one, I would say, the way of the content as the TikTok, and actually this is also very powerful. So with that being said, in this lecture we covered a few like the platforms where you can exactly like publish your content. Overall, in the next one video, we are going to speak about the entire strategy. There you will exactly like learn my tips and tricks for you, the proven methods, and basically how to get, I would say, the most out of your AI influencer. Therefore, without more speaking, let's get into it. In order to be very successful when it comes to our AI influencers, we need to have the accurate, like detailed, and very unique strategy for our business. Therefore, in this lecture, we'll consider all of the most important indicators. Firstly, I need to pay attention to the one of the most important facts. So basically the consistency. Every time when you are trying to build something, you need to be very consistent. So for example, I recommend you to pick the days when you would like to provide the images. For example, it can be, I would say, every day at the 6 p.m. This is the best one hour. So every time like pick the 5 or whether 6 p.m. because like this time like the people are just after their work and they are just scrolling like the social media, and there you can get a lot of traffic, alright? So again, for example, just pick strategy that you will post one image, I would say per day, so every day at the 6 p.m. Or even you will just publish like the one image like per 2 days. So for example, at the Monday, basically at 6 p.m. on, I would say, the Wednesday, and following the Friday and the Sunday. However, I recommend you to pick the strategy to post every day at the beginning, right? Because you need to build, I would say, a lot of traffic around your like the profile. The next one, very important indicator. The success doesn't come from the one post, like the 10 posts, or whether I would say the 100. Just you need to post like the hundreds of them, or whether the thousands, in order to get a lot of traffic and a lot of popularity. It can be, I can say, very overwhelming, because if you will think that you need to post 100 posts in order to make it, I would say, the profile popular, basically, as I said previously, it can be a little bit overwhelming. However, I showed you the tools, the techniques and the tips, and actually with them, you can automate the entire process. And overall, at the end of the day, don't spend a lot of time, alright? Because how long does it take to produce one image? Basically, I can say a few minutes, alright? And when you will, for example, like produce 30 images, like at once, you've got like the 30 days of the content. So basically, like think about this, alright? You can just one day like spend like a few hours to generate the content, and afterwards like schedule like the posts, or just even like publish it every day. So there you can see this one profile. So Leia Love Nature like has, I would say, 616 like the posts, and almost, I would say, 600,000 of followers. And basically there you can see what is the entire content. Actually the quality, again, it's not good, we can notice. However, you can see like this person like had, I would say, the consistency. The posts are approximately every day, or even like this person like posts the 2 posts per day or even more. However, as I said, the consistency is the key, because if it will be, I would say, very easy, basically you will get a lot of traffic after 10 posts, like everyone will do this. And at the end of the day, on the Instagram should be a lot of, I would say, different, like the profiles with a lot of followers. Nevertheless, creating the AI influencers and afterwards promoting it, building the entire profile require a lot of patience. So bear in mind this very important fact. The next one, very important metric. Try to post up your character in different locations. So for example, there we've got like the, I would say this one, house, there the nature, also there the library, for example, there the meadow, or whether there the mountain. There you can see like the quality is not the best. Basically, I'm sure every one of you can do like better job. However, you can see like there just to provide, I would say, different locations to make your profile very, I would say, eye-catchy, stand out from crowd, and actually very, like the content very, I would say, various. I have told it previously, but remember about the consistency when it comes to posting up, I would say, the images. So pick your hour, let it be, I would say, the 6 p.m. and every time, I would say, just post up your, like the post, alright, so your image. And basically, why to do this? Like the, I would say, the customers, so for example, they're our viewers, will know, alright, like this profile, like posts, like every time at the 6 p.m., so they are just waiting for your post, and basically like you did, I would say, the behavior for them. Basically like they're expecting at the 6 p.m. the post, and every time this is very automatically like done, and our brain like works by this way. When we are doing something at a specific time, like we are doing, I would say, the habit, alright? So therefore, after some person will see for the 10 days, like your posts at the 6 p.m., like this person will have the habit to like maybe check it out, or whether like check your profile on this 1 hour, because in the head, like this person will have something like the notification, alright? So something I've been doing at the 6 p.m. and maybe this is checking your profile. Now let's take a look on the bio of this AI profile. Ambassador for planet Earth. And now we've got very important indicator. Like pick the content and produce the content which is relevant to the business or the business that you want to promote. For example, there you can see, like we've got like this one sentence and a lot of images of the nature. Like you can see we've got the consistency, almost every time we've got like the post with like the, I would say, the trees, the river, some flowers, maybe the meadow in the background. So basically also this is very, very important. To not, I would say, post up like the random images, because at the end of the day, you are just determining your profile in order to like promote something, alright? Maybe promote, let's say, the man like which is promoting the like the gym, or the woman which is promoting like the clothes line, or something like this. So every time, adhere to your business, or whether the business that you would like to promote. The next one tip is to just analyze your audience and your images, alright? So look, which one, I would say, the image like has more likes, which not, alright? And by this way you can just determine and like see which are images are getting more traffic, and afterwards you can go over and produce like more images in this one theme and basically in this one structure. So for example there, we can see, let's go over back and see which one image is very popular. So we've got approximately like the few thousand like the likes, however this one like has almost the 3,000 like the, I would say, the likes. However, this one has only the 1,700. So now I can like see that I need to produce more images like this, alright? So my audience really like this one image, and basically we've got a lot of more likes. So basically there I would say adhere to your audience preferences, because at the end of the day you just want to, I would say, make your AI influencer stand out from the crowd and gain a lot of popularity over the shortest time available. If you would like to create the videos for your Instagram model and post up it in the Reels, I recommend you to go over and just, for example, like post up one video like per week, or whether like one video per 2 weeks, or just 2 videos per just 1 week, alright? So the choice is yours. And also very important fact is that you can not only like post up your Reels, so your videos on the like the Instagram, however you can pick TikTok or whether the YouTube Shorts. And also there like post up your content. So let's say you want to post, I would say this one video on the Instagram. However, you can go over also to your YouTube the profile and post up a YouTube short and do this stuff very effortlessly. The next one tip is to work. So basically practice. See what is, I would say, happening in your profile. Which one images are getting more traffic, which not, alright? Basically try to use different prompts. Try to use different methods. Do everything that you can. Try to, I would say, find more knowledge about your niche, about your profile. Where else you can promote your AI influencer, alright? So basically think about it. Just expand your knowledge and basically do better job. Also remember that over time you will just do automatically the better job, because you will practice how to create the images, which one works, and even how to actively promote it. So I would say the experience comes from the work and the time spent. And the last one tip for this lecture for you is to create the link tree, I would say the profile, and attach your link tree with all of the links basically inside of your the bio. So actually when we visit another one profile with almost 7 million followers, we've got there, I would say, the link tree. So this is the space where you can provide your, I would say, affiliate links or whether other links to your social media. So for example, there the Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or whether something that you promote. For example, this one person, I think it promotes the some shop, or whether I would say some services. So this is very important to include your link tree inside of your profile. So basically that we have it. I hope that you found a lot of value inside of this lecture, these tips are helpful for you. Actually, I put a lot of effort into preparing these materials. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me anytime. Go over to the Q&A section and ask, I would say, anything that you want, I would say, to know, whether you have any questions or whether there are problems, go over there and ask the question. Also, please, if you could and if you want, please leave me your honest review of the course. It helps me so much. I will be very grateful. It means the world to me. It helps me to grow this course and just overall be better. And if you have already done it, I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Again, I hope that you liked this lecture. And for now, I will see you in the next one video.